You are the biggest threat to your family. You're the biggest threat. Talk about protecting our family from someone who might try to hurt them. Protect our family at night from people who might try to break in and hurt them. Protect our family from outside sources. Protect our family from bad influences. Protect our family from anything that might cause them harm. But at the end of the day, you are the biggest threat to your family. You know, when I come home at the end of the day, or I come home in the middle of the day, or even from the second that we wake up, my attitude affects the rest of my family. My outlook determines my family's outlook. The habits that I have every day determine the kind of habits that my family will have every day. I wonder sometimes why my kids have a negative outlook. It's because I have a negative outlook. I wonder if my kids are being a little aggressive or irritable. It's because I'm being too aggressive and irritable. So you think it's innocent? You think they don't notice? You think they don't pick up on it? I don't care if your kids are 5 years old or 15 years old or 18 years old. They see, they absorb it, they watch it, and then they apply what they see from you in their own life. They see you treat everybody in the house like you're some big ogre, you're some big grump, you're too tired. Well, I worked all day, and now I'm just going to come home and veg out, drink a beer, or maybe I don't drink beer, but I'm going to just stuff my face with a bunch of junk food and watch TV all day and get irritated with everybody. Or I'm going to go smoke, go hang out with my boys. What about hanging out with your family? What about hanging out with your kids? What about spending time with your children? What about spending quality time with your wife? Why is it that your wife has to ask for a back rub in order to get one? Why is it you're going to yell at your kids about washing the dishes, but you don't ever wash the dishes? You're going to yell at your kids about not taking the trash out, but you don't ever take the trash out. Well, they need to learn. They've got chores. They learn by watching, not by listening. You ever said something over and over and over to your kids and they didn't get it? They still didn't get it. But then something that you never even told them, they just saw you do it. And then all of a sudden, one day you notice them doing it. They're going to copy what they see. They're not going to copy what they hear. And you coming home without having the right intent in your home every day is causing them harm. They're going to act how you act. They're going to think how you think. They're going to do what you do. They're going to feel how you feel. And because you can't get the victory over in your own life right now, your children and your wife are going to suffer for it. Because you're unhappy, you think you got to go make everybody else unhappy around you. Well, Dad's unhappy, so I guess we're just going to all be unhappy and we're going to complain. I've said something over and over and over and over and nobody listens. Yeah, they're not going to listen. They're going to copy what they see. And unless they see Dad have a bunch of character, they're not going to have character. Unless they see Dad have a good attitude, they're not going to have a good attitude. Unless they see Dad treat Mom with dignity and respect and love, they're not going to treat Mom with dignity and respect and love. You want your wife to step her game up. You step your game up. Instead of always wanting everybody else to do for you, you do for everybody else. A man ought to come home and say, I'm here, I'm home, it's time for me to serve my family, not for my family to serve me. This ain't the 1950s anymore, where Dad just comes home and reads a newspaper and dictates how life is going to be for everybody. That's not how this works. You come home and serve. I don't care if you're, I'm tired. Well, then drink a cup of coffee, man. Go to bed early. Get some purpose in here and you won't be tired anymore. Oh, my back hurts. Then stink and stretch. Exercise. Take some ibuprofen. I don't care what you do. But stop using your lame excuses as a reason to treat your family like garbage. I'm not saying I'm an expert. Most of the time when I make these videos, I make them for me. I make them either for the old version of me to make sure that he never comes back, or I make them for the current version of me. And I've got a wife and 5 kids. I have to make sure that I'm on point because anytime I slip, I see them start to slip. And when I slip for too long, they fall. But when I live a life of discipline and I maintain my habits of discipline day after day, week after week, month after month, all of a sudden I notice in my wife and kids that they're doing the same thing. They start creating their own habits of discipline. They start copying some of my habits of discipline. They start reading their Bible consistently. They start exercising consistently. They start reading the labels on the back of their food consistently. They start trying to be a little more patient with each other consistently. But I have to do it. And I have to do it for months on end before they're going to believe it enough to pick up on it. Same thing goes for you. You have to do the work. And you have to be a servant to your family instead of being the biggest threat to your family with your selfishness, with your bad attitude, with your self-serving negativity and narcissism. Your family is not there to serve you. You are there to serve your family.